Are twin flames real? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm obviously in a different setup. It's going to be about twin flames. I want to talk about my experience, what I think about it, how my views have changed, and if they're real. In addition, I want to give you a free twin flame reading at the end after we discuss twin flames. What is up, soul family? Welcome to my channel. I find that a lot of people in the spiritual community, they like to discredit twin flames, or they really feel a sense of anxiety around the topic, and I totally understand why. People don't want to confirm things that they have no tangible proof of. If two people can be like, oh, we're twin flames, like if two high profile people can be like, we're twin flames, and then end up breaking up later, you're going to not take that connection, or that type of connection, the connection of twin flames, as seriously. And I find that this is what happened. So I want to tell you today a little bit about my journey, my story, how I came across twin flames, and why I still feel like it's significant for me. Like I said, we'll do a little bit of reading at the end. So I want you right now, before we get started with talking about twin flames, to pick a number between 1 through 4. And think about that number as I am talking about this topic. And then by the end, when I begin, you'll see the timestamp down below. You can jump to your reading. If you're interested in watching a reading about twin flames to see where your twin flame's at, what they want to say to you. If you have a twin flame, hopefully these are messages that want to come through. As you know, sometimes I ask the cards a certain question and they don't answer that question as clear as I would like, because sometimes it's just not right for us to know. So yeah, we're gonna do a reading at the end that I'm super excited about. I'm gonna use this deck here. This is the Lover's Path Tarot deck. It's super beautiful. It's got these like beautiful fine art paintings here of lovers in mythology, but also in history and things like that. And I'm also using my favorite deck, which is just the regular Rider-Waite deck, to get messages about your twin flame. So starting off, what are twin flames? For me personally, this is my definition. I'm not gonna plagiarize someone else's definition. From what I know, twin flames originated from Plato's work. I forget which one it was exactly, but essentially he talked about a being that God, or Zeus I guess you could say, separated in two. This being had 4 arms and 4 legs, and it became so powerful that God separated, or Zeus separated. I don't want to say that God is Zeus, but you know what I mean. They believed back then that Zeus was God. But for me personally, Zeus is a lesser god than God, the all creator. But anyways, that's not important right now. So Plato said that Zeus separated these two beings, or Zeus separated this being in half in fear of them becoming too powerful and overpowering him. And they were cursed, I guess, or fated to search for one another their entire lives. They always want to like come back to each other. For me, twin flames is your divine counterpart. Yes, it does have a lot of links to Zeus separating this 4-legged and 4-armed being. Obviously, your divine counterpart tends to bring up views of your other half. But see, people don't like that for some reason. People in the spiritual community, they think that if you are searching for your other half, it's because you're desperate. It's because you don't feel whole in yourself. But in reality, twin flames are whole on themselves, but are also halves, because to be whole, they need that other half, although they're whole individually. To make the complete picture, you need this male or female counterpart depending on what you are or who you are, right? If we think about animals or plants are a better example. You literally need male and female reproductive organs to create new life. That's what I mean. They're not necessarily incomplete, they're a whole part of themselves, but they need that other ingredient to give birth to new life, to create something new. And that's what twin flames are. It's your other half of your whole. And when you come together, you bring about something new. It doesn't have to necessarily be children. That's the difference with twin flames. Twin flames are, or is, a spiritual connection that is based upon the couple's life mission on Earth. So, twin flames typically have similar life paths or life missions. They both want to accomplish a higher goal, a higher purpose that they feel is directed by God. In other words, twin flames have this mission that God put them on Earth for, to accomplish, to bring about the new Earth, if you will, or the new era. You know what I mean? Because people can get married and have kids and just live a degular life. Have vacation once a year and work 2 separate jobs in 2 different industries. Twin flames work together on all levels. They are the closest couple in the whole entire world because they are able to be intimate on that level. And it's not for everyone. How many of you have parents or know people in relationships where the couple essentially does separate things? Probably a lot. Like, most couples are that way. But with twin flames, they do things together. They do everything together. A good example of this, and I know this is going to offend people because I got in a debate with a few people on this already, but there's an idea going around that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were twin flames. And I'm using that example because I think it illustrates the point and the truth of twin flames, is that Jesus obviously had a very significant purpose here on earth. Despite what you believe, he had a very significant spiritual purpose on earth, and Mary Magdalene was there by his side throughout all of it. She was the first person to see Jesus after he became resurrected. She was a follower of his. She lived amongst him and his disciples. She was one of the disciples, so she was intimately close with Jesus. She studied the same things Jesus did. She was pushing the same message that Jesus did. Do you see how aligned Mary Magdalene and Jesus are? So if we for a second drop all of our perceptions regarding if Jesus was in a romantic relationship or if he wasn't, or if that was impossible, whatever, if we just take a look at the story and step back a little bit and be objective, we see that Mary Magdalene and Jesus is a female and a male who had aligned purpose. This is what twin flames are. They have significant purpose on earth, likely extremely spiritual. It's not for everybody. Not everybody has a spiritual purpose. Some people's purpose is to have a child together and to love each other and to be in the world as it is and to enjoy the world. And they have a child who then creates, I don't know, a piece of technology that people are going to use, and maybe the child creates medicine that's going to help a ton of people in the future, you know? Maybe the child discovers something that's going to help. That's maybe some people's purposes, or maybe some people's purposes is to kill it in the real estate business. Maybe their purpose is to make homes beautiful. Twin flames' purposes is something very deep, very significant, and on the higher frequencies. And this is why I don't deny their existence. I do think twin flames are 110% real, but they're not for everybody, and they're challenging. If you think you have a twin flame, I'm not going to say that you don't have that. What's annoying to me is some spiritual people and influencers on Instagram or whatever, or YouTube, they're literally hating on people for thinking they have a twin flame. You don't know that person's purpose. Like, I remember this one girl, she was like, you guys won't have a twin flame unless you're spiritually awakened like me. You know you have to be as spiritually awakened as me to have a twin flame. Like, I'm literally the only twin flame that I know because I'm so spiritually awakened. If you have to brag about your spiritual awakeness, if you will, I highly doubt that you're that spiritually awakened. Like, I just don't think that that's a possibility. I don't see that as being a reality. That's her ego trying to discount other people's genuine experiences because she doesn't, or she cannot comprehend their mission. So it's like, if I were to say, I'm a twin flame, and she's like, you're a twin flame, but you're like so imperfect in this and this and this and this, as if she's perfect, then that's just kind of stupid. Like, you don't know how the Holy Spirit, how God speaks to an individual person. Maybe she's a twin flame, I don't know, but her being all negative and putting other people down for wanting a twin flame is just ridiculous, and it goes to show she's not that spiritually awakened as she claims. And, you know, if in fact she was right that you can only have twin flames if you are super spiritually awakened and super adept, then maybe she isn't a twin flame because of her behavior, right? So yes, I do feel, in my opinion, that twin flames are real. I do feel that they're challenging, and some people may succeed in this lifetime and some may not. I know I'm a twin flame. I don't know if I'm going to be with my twin in this lifetime, although I hope. I do feel like I'm okay with, like, obviously a life partner, a soulmate, or whatever. I don't feel like I need to be with my twin flame to be happy, but at the same time, I want to attain for that higher purpose. If I can do it in this lifetime, why not do it in this lifetime? I know I'm a twin flame because of my spiritual experiences. It's something that you have to experience yourself. And I'm not saying that to like boost my ego or whatever, but like, if the Holy Spirit, if God can show me that kind of love through my visions and the spiritual awakenings and experiences that God allowed to come into my life, then I'm gonna have to trust that. And they were significant enough in a sense as to remind me of that kind of energy. Twin flames are essentially an energy. It's a frequency. You have soulmate, life partner, the one, the person that you're gonna marry, girlfriend, boyfriend, and you have twin flame. You know? So it's like different. It's like apples and oranges. It's like Chick-fil-A versus McDonald's kind of thing, you know? It's okay if you're not a twin flame. It's not for everybody. I just feel like, why would I be awakened to that if it wasn't my purpose, unless God or whoever was sadistic to torture me as to dangle a hanging fruit in front of me that I can never attain or reach, you know? So that's the scary part, is like, will I actually get there? Is that person out there? Can that person be as aligned with me so that we can be twin flames or grow into twin flames. It's not about being perfect. Like, I'm not gonna be levitating and be like, oh, I'm a twin flame as long as I levitate. I don't even know if that's possible. It scares me to think that people are levitating somewhere out there in the world and I'm missing out on all of that. I want to freaking levitate. Are you kidding? Please train me. If you know how to levitate, I want to learn. But yeah, like, I don't think it has to come to that point of like defying physical laws in order to be spiritually awakened or advanced enough to be a twin flame. I feel that twin flames are actually much simpler than that. They transmute the energies around them through their love. So yeah, like, well, I think I'm a twin flame. I don't know. I still don't know. I know I believe it. I know that I've made mistakes in the past where I thought I was like in the presence of my twin flame and it ended up being not a twin flame. It ended up being a false twin. And here's the deal. Sometimes when we peel back those layers of our onion, which is essentially ourself, we tend to think that we've reached the end, the goal point, I guess you could say, the core of the onion. And we tend to think that, okay, here it is, here's the final destination, I've met my twin flame. And that person that we think is our twin flame, who is actually our false twin or our karmic partner or a soulmate or something that was meant to teach us a lesson, they get so close to that truth that we remember in our souls and in our beings that we think there are twin flames, but in reality we still need to peel back more layers, right? We just haven't peeled back enough layers. We want to arrive at the destination. We want to get to our end point, and maybe we're too impatient. Maybe the key is to not think about meeting the twin flame and finally being together. Maybe it's just going with the flow and having faith and living your life regardless of whether or not it happens. But I think that when I thought I met my twin flame, I thought I reached that core part of myself that they resonated with, because that person whom I thought was my twin flame, they really resonated with me and connected with me on a level that I've never connected with anybody else. I felt that they reminded me of who I truly was. They were able to give me a missing puzzle piece that I was looking for. It was like, finally, I have the truth that I have been trying to grasp for in the dark this whole entire time, kind of wanting to, reach out to. I could sense it's there, but I can't fully grab it. I just want to get closer and closer to it. They were able to finally like grab my hand in the dark and be like, okay, we're here. We're here. Like, I finally had something tangible to grab onto that helped remind me of myself. They brought me closer to myself, because I was like, something was in my eye, I couldn't see properly, and they reminded me of who I was. And I think this is why we think that we met our twin flames when we haven't. When you think about the twin flame that you thought you had, for instance, if you did think you had a twin flame and ended up not working out, I guarantee you they reminded you of something about yourself. You thought you got to the core of who you are, like, finally I can resonate with someone on a deep and true level. In reality, maybe you still had a few more layers to pull back of that onion, right? You think you finally got to the last layer and you get to that middle part that you can't really peel back anymore. Well, in reality, you're still peeling back more layers, because more truth needs to be revealed to you, and this individual helped you peel back another layer. I knew that that person was my twin flame when I met somebody after him, and I realized that person brought me even closer to my truth, a truth that I had forgotten about myself for so long. And this is why I'm not going to say, oh, he's my twin flame, because I don't know, maybe there's another layer that I'm not remembering just yet. So it is scary in a sense of like, okay, is it finally going to be the one? When is it going to be the one? You don't necessarily want to keep going in the same circle of like, is this the one? Oh my God, am I met the one? Blah, 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 blah. It just gets tiring when you get disappointed and you feel like you make a mistake. Oh, I just got my number. It showed up in my mind's eye. But anyways, so this new person I met after my false twin, he showed me an even closer truth to myself. And I know that because I started to get visions, really, really significant visions. And it showed me a whole lot about my childhood too. I was reminded of certain things I forgot about in my childhood. And I was able to remember some of those old dreams that I've had that still managed to survive. And that was not at all present in that false twin. That false twin had no ounce of that at all in him. And it was meeting this other person that allowed me to remember that aspect of myself. So now here's my false twin. He gives me a piece of the puzzle. Here's this other person, gives me a piece of the puzzle. I know that I've made a mistake in identifying the last person as a twin flame. So I'm not going to make the same mistake. I don't know if this person is my twin flame. You know what I mean? So it's hard in a sense of like, okay, when am I going to stop? Because like, it makes me not want to be vulnerable and try to get to know somebody if I feel like there might be someone else. So it's in a sense of like an avoidant type of attachment style, I guess you could say. And it's a very interesting dynamic, and it's a challenge for sure. And this is why people think it's unhealthy. They think it's based on ego because of that sense, but I think that they don't actually understand it. And I know that's like, oh, you think you understand it, but I don't. But like, if you can't see the validity, and if you can't appreciate or understand or comprehend the twin flame phenomena in a sense that you deny it, it's maybe because you're not one. Maybe it's just not time for you to understand it. You have to understand it. You have to be tuned into the twin flame frequency to fully grasp it. And it is a challenge. You can always change your tuner, or you can always change your frequency if you want, if it gets too difficult for you. And I've done that too. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back into the regular dating life, and I'm just going to forget about this twin flame thing. The fuck is this shit? This is some bullshit. Like, what? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you about how I first discovered it, and I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I was like ready, and I was dating, and I liked the guy that I was dating a lot, and I think we were getting along. And then I met this person, and that's when I knew that like twin flames were possible, and that it kept following me. And so you have to trust those things if they keep following you. Here's another thing. When I was on the BART station in San Francisco, this is another thing that I knew instantly twin flames were real. With twin flame relationships, likely you will find a physical marker or clue that will identify twin flames. And this was something that was being told to me. Some people might have similar scars, maybe, in the same place, or maybe different place, just like maybe same size or opposite fingers or something like that, or maybe they have the same significant mole somewhere. But let me tell you, this couple at the BART station looked exactly the same. I know you've seen people or couples like this where they look exactly the same, but they're not the same race. This girl was blonde hair, blue-eyed, and this guy was like dark-skinned like me with brown hair, but their face looked the same. And I remember I was like, oh my gosh. And like they glowed, and their faces like perfectly matched each other. And then I was like, I have no doubt in my mind that twin flames are real. Like they literally were just like so connected. I could feel it, and I was like, God, let this couple work out, please. Protect their union, and I hope they work out, because they looked the same, but they're from completely opposite races. It's absolutely insane. And I've seen this over and over again where a couple like looks exactly the same, even though they're from different genders or different races. They just have similar features, I should say. So that's one of the messages that I was getting. And this was after I was like, I don't really care about twin flames anymore. I don't want to think about it. I just want to be normal. I want to be normal, right? So I was like, okay, I'm just going to date normally, and I'm just going to like, see, I don't need to search for someone who knows about twin flame. In reality, your twin flame doesn't have to know about twin flame for you guys to be twin flames, you know? They might not even know what it is, but you just have this connection. Anyway, so how did I stumble upon twin flames? I was, I think, 17 or 18, and learning about meditation, possibly, and getting deeper into my spirituality. And I was searching up meditations on YouTube, or like high frequency sounds for meditation, and then I saw a twin flame video. And back when I was 17, I was very lost. I was depressed, I guess you could say, but lost. I felt alone. I felt like I didn't relate to anybody, and I was doing a lot of drugs and drinking, and I was smoking a lot of cigarettes, and I just didn't feel healthy and good, and I wanted to change. And so by that time, I was starting to have really significant experiences after I smoked weed. But then I also started getting really super paranoid. So I stopped smoking weed, and then I started to like meditate and stuff. And then that's when I came up upon this twin flame thing, and I was like, why does this remind me of everything I am, like since I was a child, literally. I was reminded of certain experiences, if you will, in childhood when I was watching all these videos about twin flames. And I was just like, this is like legit. Like I was obsessed. My camera died, but we're good. We got a new battery. Let's just get comfortable. So yeah, now it's changing. But back then when I first found out about twin flames, I was feeling lost, and I wasn't as confident or as confident as I thought I was. And then shit happened. And then I lost myself, and I was depressed, and crazy things were happening to me, especially on a spiritual level. I mean, damn. That's when I started to get into like the psychic part of spirituality, in a sense, because the stuff that I was just like having visions and dreams about, I didn't really think that they were normal. Like, for instance, a lot of people will say that a spiritual awakening feels a little like psychosis. It was like that. It was like a psychosis event that like shattered everything, shattered my bubble, essentially. And it was scary, and I don't know, I was just losing it, but something inside of me was telling me to have faith, and I held on to that. But so back then, when you're not confident, when you get dragged into hell essentially for the first time ever, and then you manage to get out of that hole, everything that you know about the world is completely shattered. And that was what happened to me. I was scared about everything, and I still kind of am, but now I've been to hell like a couple times. Same thing, some intense spiritual awakenings and experiences, I guess you will, that, you know, I would really not want to have again. But something just made me want to keep holding on. And I think a lot of it has to do with the twin flame, because it would always show up no matter what was happening, like with a psychosis / spiritual event or whatever. the twin flame thing, the twin flame theme was always there, like this divine masculine, divine feminine, yin and yang type of energy. It was always in the back burner. And like, how can you deny that a beautiful love could potentially exist? Like the most beautiful and true love you can fathom, you can dream of, potentially exists. Like, if I were to say that shit doesn't exist, well, I would be a pessimist, right? I would be a cynic. While it's kind of maybe naive or stupid to hope for things that are impossible, are they impossible if you don't know that they're impossible? And like, how sadistic would God be if he gave you messages of hope and beauty and love and feelings of safety only so that you can discover that they're not real? I don't know about you, but that's not love. That's not the God that I know. For me, God is love. So yeah, like back then when I first discovered twin flames, it was like I was a lost child trying to find my own path, I guess, getting to know myself, not entirely being not knowing what I wanted to do or be or what I was, feeling so uncomfortable with myself on multiple levels, with everything on multiple levels. So I clearly wasn't ready for a twin flame. Because you know what's interesting? I have this Virgo placement. I think it's in the 11th house. The house that Aquarius rules, which is like friends and community. My friends and community placement is Virgo. So it's like the hermit, essentially. And my friends and community placements, it's like, I feel that in order for me to be with my twin flame at that point in my life, I would have had to be fully evolved as a hermit archetype, I guess you could say, in my 11th house. Or I think it's the 11th house. Let me double check. Yeah, so it is the 11th house. In order for me to have come into union with my twin flame when I was 17 or 18 years old, I would have been in my highest expression and fullest expression of my Virgo in my 11th house of friends and community, because while it's not indicative necessarily of a twin flame union, it's important to be able to have a relationship amongst other people who are trying to grab your attention, grab your partner's attention. You know what I mean? Like twin flames unions have twin flames, I think, in order to come into a healthy union, have to be confident in themselves in many situations, especially around people, especially around friends and stuff like that. And that was just not me. Like, I had to be alone because what I was experiencing, I felt like I could not share with anyone. So as I got older, I met my false twin flame, which I don't really call them my false twin flame. I'm just saying that to give you an idea that this is not my twin flame, I don't think. I thought they were the one, but I failed to realize that I really was not ready to come into union because I was not certain in myself on many levels. And again, as a Virgo in the 11th house, I had to be, I think, certain of myself amongst people, which means I had to be secure in myself. And to be secure in yourself, you have to have confidence. You have to find your footing, solid footing. And I just did not have that. I still had no idea what the hell I was doing. Like, no clue. I pretty much dropped out of college at that point because it was like I kept going to classes and I was just like zoning out and I could not pay attention. Nothing was grabbing my attention. So I realized then that my mistake was identifying someone as my twin flame when I didn't feel whole in myself. You have to feel like, for the most part at least, whole and confident in yourself, that regardless of what happens, you're gonna be okay with or without this person. But with a twin flame union, you both have to be tuned into that frequency. You may not have the right words or the right labels. Maybe my twin flame doesn't even know what a twin flame is. But if they're tuned to that frequency, then we can come together as twin flames. And maybe I give him this label of twin flames and kind of tell him what it's about. But two people have to be tuned into that twin flame energy, and to be tuned into that twin flame energy, you have to be evolved on a certain level. The both of you have to reach a certain level of your growth, a certain level of your evolution, your spiritual adeptness, I guess you could say. And you know, if you're like this, it's never going to be coherent. If your twin flame is here and you're here, you can't meet. They're going to be too high, and for you to meet them, you'd have to, you know, come up here where they're at. So when two twin flames meet, it's like this. It's much closer together, and that's when they come into union, and that's when they stay in union, in physical union. So yeah, that's my twin flame rant. It was much longer than I thought it would be, but let's get started with the reading. Let me know if you want to hear more about my twin flame thoughts. Let's get started with group 1. Messages from your twin flame. Where is your twin flame right now, and what do they want to tell you? Do you have a twin flame? Perfect. Alright, so you get the Queen of Pentacles. Perfect. This is the Divine Feminine card. You also get the 9 of Swords. Wow. And then the Knight of Cups. Alright, so your Divine Feminine. There is definitely, oh look at that, underneath is the 9 of Cups. Let me get another one from this deck and then we'll get started with the reading. What does your twin flame want to tell you? Okay, so group 1, you do have a twin flame. If this is something that you want, if this is something that you think is right for you, you have a twin flame. And to have a twin flame means you have a spiritual purpose. And you probably already know what that is. You want to help someone, you want to do something, you want to create something significant, and you know you're gonna do it with someone by your side, a romantic partner by your side. It's not for everyone, and that's okay. It's okay that your mom has a different job than your dad and they're not working together in the same company. You know what I mean? Or they're part of a different career or field. But see, like, say that your mom was a teacher and your dad was a business person. Just because they're in different career fields, it doesn't mean that they can't work together for a bigger purpose. If they come together like this and they build something together using their skill sets and then they present that to the world, what would that look like if your mom was a teacher and your dad was a business person? Maybe some sort of product or service that teaches kids about something. Maybe anti-bullying, or maybe like maybe your dad sells a product to the kids that will help them learn better. You know what I mean? Just coming together, working for a common purpose. But the thing is, it's like, it's significant. It helps the world. It doesn't just help the family, or it's not selfish. It has everything to do with the community, the outside world. Something to do with sharing what you've created. Aw, 11 wisdom. This is a justice card. So I do think, group 1, that you have a twin flame, but someone in your connection, your twin or you, is feeling very anxious right now. And you know, notice how they are turning in opposite directions. The Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups, and they're obviously on different levels. The Queen is a higher rank, if you will, than the Knight. And in the middle is this anxiety, and they're turning away from each other. There's a lot of love here, though, with the Knight of Cups underneath, with your twin and you. You may have met them already, or this is where you're at right now. There is that, like, anxiety. It's possible you could be very sensitive to energies right now as well. You may be having dreams about each other, or just nightmares and stuff like that. Visions maybe that have been plaguing your mind. And I think that it's an activation for you. You're longing for each other, and you want to come into union. But obviously there's this big old block in the middle, and I have no idea what it is. Let's get a clarifier. So why is a 9 of Swords here? Oh, and that's a lot of cards, but I'm only going to take one. It's the one that's not flipped over. It's separated from all the rest. Okay. Here it is. Clarifier for the 9 of Swords. It's pride. I think that maybe if you know this person, you act like you don't care about them. You act like you're super tough. Or you don't care, or you're, like I said, like you're super tough, you don't need them, you don't need no man, but you want each other. And if you can go beyond that, if you can overcome that obstacle of trying to hide your true feelings for each other, then, I mean, shit, you could be in a twin flame union. This is interesting because if it doesn't work out, your twin flame energy I'm getting is going to be transferred to another person. So don't feel like it's over if it doesn't work out with this person that you feel in your heart or in your intuition is your twin flame. Don't feel that you're not a twin flame and you feel as a twin flame kind of thing. Because if it doesn't work out with them, that energy is going to be transferred to someone else, if that makes sense. Because remember, it's not just about the physical vessel. While that is definitely a big part of it, if you watch the beginning of the video, I talked about those physical features that are markers. You can find those physical features in someone else. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's possible you don't know each other yet. It's possible that you're both pursuing different things. But I think that there is a numb part of yourself that you're not feeling, or you're not like being conscious of, or you're just like pushing aside to stop from thinking of, from stopping, or to stop from thinking about it too much. It's almost like you feel like there's a missing piece. yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy how they're facing different ways. It's like maybe you're already in each other's proximity. For others of you who haven't met your twin, you're in each other's proximity. You're very close to each other, but you don't know each other. You're sensing each other's energy, but you haven't fully met. You're kind of just in the sidelines of their energy. So they are likely very close to you, energetically at least. Yeah, your main blocks, group 1, is your pride and not being honest about your true emotions. So I'm just getting a warning to watch out for that. That, like, your task to come into union, I guess, if this is resonating with you, is to be vulnerable and to express your true feelings, regardless if someone rejects you or not. And don't mask it as anything else. Like, if you like someone, say, hey, I think I'm starting to get feelings for you. How do you feel about that? Instead of being like, oh, I missed you. Like, oh, what's up, bro? Like, I missed you. Where were you at? Like, be like, I think I'm getting feelings for you. Is that weird? What do you think? You know? Have that sense of vulnerability instead of trying to be like, oh, I don't really care. It's not a big deal kind of situation. So yeah, that's all I'm getting for you, group 1. Let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, group 2, let's see where your twin flame is at. If you have a twin flame, messages regarding your twin flame journey. If it's right for you, basically anything that comes through, we're going to take a look at. Messages for group 2. Thank you. You're coming through as a 6 of Swords. Your connecting energy, I love this, is a 2 of Cups. And then your twin flame is coming through as a 5 of Pentacles. Wow. Oh, snaps. 5 of Pentacles. And bottom of the deck energy is Page of Wands. Wow. Okay, so I feel that if you pick group 2, you may have already met your twin. You already know each other. Possibly. And they could be feeling left out in the cold for whatever reason. But you both want to come towards one another with this 2 of Cups here. Maybe you are moving closer to your twin, or your twin is moving, you're moving close to your twin, or you are moving somewhere, relocating, or trying to help your twin in this difficult situation. But, you know, there is this middle. This is a very, very powerful middle connecting energy, you guys. This is both of your energy coming together. Yes, you have a twin, and I would be very surprised if you don't come into union sometime soon. As always, only take the messages that resonate and leave the rest. I never want to lead you astray or give you messages that aren't true. But I always want to tell you that maybe you think this is resonating for you when it's just something that you're hoping for. But if you picked this stock, it is definitely possible you go into union with your twin, and that is the person that you end up with. This is bottom of your deck energy. Could be a Libra. King of Coins. The Queen of Pentacles came out in the last stack too. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And then 2 of Arrows, which is a 2 of Swords. Ooh, interesting. So there could have definitely been obstacles in your connection. So group 2, do you have a twin? Yes, you do. It is definitely possible. If I were to give you a percentage, like if I was the weather woman, it is highly possible that you come into union with your twin flame. It's highly possible that you already met them and you know them. And I say that because of the Page of Wands here. It seems like you're curious, or they're curious about you, and they're like, why does this girl or why does this guy remind me of someone? Why am I so interested in this person? They're like checking you out like this, like, have I met you somewhere? Why are you so familiar? This is what they're thinking. They're like, what the hell? What's going on? What are these weird feelings inside of me that I just cannot comprehend or express? You know what? It looks like both of you and your twin, you're like going through it, or you've been through it. You're both moving in a better direction. Maybe your twin is suffering more in the physical or material realm, whereas you're struggling more in your mental health realm, but you move forward together in a more harmonious, beneficial way. So whatever it is that you're going through it to come closer together, like this. This is how it is on my spread. You're going through it. This is you, this is them, and whatever it is that you're going through to come together. So keep that in mind. Yes, I do feel like it's 80% chance, plus 80% chance you have a twin and you end up with your twin in this lifetime. What a beautiful, scary challenge. Not everybody can maintain it, so good luck. Okay, so that's you, group 2. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, so group 3, let's see your twin flame messages. If you have one, where's your twin? What are they thinking? What's going on? When will you meet? Hopefully these are messages that want to come through, but sometimes not all questions are answered. So you're coming through as the World. So you're like, damn, I just leveled up on some level. Your connecting energy is the 4 of Swords. They're coming through as the Ace of Swords. Wow. Ooh, what an interesting, oh my gosh. Ace of Cups. This is a definite yes. So, do you have a twin? Yes, you do. If you really truly feel like you have a twin and this is a phenomena that resonates with you, look at that. We're getting the King of Pentacles again. We got this in the last deck. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, but doesn't have to be. And then the 2 of Arrows again. Holy sh... Did you watch 2? Did you watch both of them? Be honest. And then the 7 of Staves, 7 of Wands, which also came out in the first stack. I like that there's a dragon here and he's fighting off the dragon, but there's also that sun behind him, so it kind of gives off this sense of enlightenment. Why do they always make the dragons to be the bad one? They always demonize dragons. Dragons are cool AF. Alright, so do you have a twin? Well, look, you have the Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck. I mean, this is a big yes. So if you've ever been questioning if you are one, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm a twin, people are saying it's not real, I feel kind of like an idiot because people are like saying it's not real and it's crazy and woo woo. Don't listen to them. You know in your heart the truth. And look at that, you have Empress underneath. Double yes. So group 3, you are in fact a twin flame. Now, you and your twin are both in good places. You are very close to union with the World and the Ace of Swords here. Very similar energy, very similar frequency, close in frequency. And look at this in between you. There's a Four of Swords. You're not worried about it. You're just like, okay, if it happens, it happens. I'm open to receiving, open to attracting, but I'm not going to be desperate about it because I'm whole. So if you pick 3, you're much closer to union than you think. The Two of Arrows is honestly throwing me off of the King of Coins here. Some of you could be in a relationship right now and maybe you're like, oh, is this my twin? Don't think about that, okay? Just go with the flow, trust your heart. My quote right now is, there's no instinct like that of the heart, by Lord Byron. So don't worry if someone is the one. Don't think about it too much. Just go with the flow and let it go. Let the whole twin flame phenomena go. It'll come to you in perfect timing when you're meant to have it. But I hope that this confirmation serves as a positive message for you if you've been questioning this phenomena. With the Seven of Staves here, even though I like dragons, I am going to take this as a message of defeating obstacles that are standing in between your union. So your man or your twin is fighting this dragon, fighting this demon in order to get to you, in order for you to come together. They're fighting the demons within themselves in the outside world so as you can come into union, this divine, beautiful union. But look, you're like, you know what, I'm unbothered. I want to be prepared. I'm taking a long, deep, scrumptious rest. And I'm preparing for my union. And I'm not worried because I know it's out there. I can feel it. And no one is going to tell me otherwise. They can shove their ignorant opinions up their asses. Kind of vibe, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting for you, group 3. Hopefully this was something that resonated with you and something that you enjoyed. What time is it? Alright, so let's see for group 4. Hi group 4. Let's see messages about your twin. Oh, it already came out. Perfect. You're coming through as the Empress. This wanted to come out in the last stack as well, so you may have been watching all of them, or maybe just 3 and 4. Wheel of Fortune. You could be a Taurus, but it doesn't have to be, and your twin is coming up as the Hanged Man. And then the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Wands. Interesting. Let me get some of these cards real quick. I'm just going to shuffle them and read your cards. Alright. Oh, 8. Strength. Brunhild and Siegfried. And then underneath is, oh my goodness, the Hierophant, which is tradition in this deck. Romeo and Juliet. I love that. Look at this twin flame colors right here, red and blue. And Strength. Okay, so what's the deal? Do you have a twin flame? I think group 4 that you can have a twin flame if you want to. And I say that because you don't really know if it's something that you need. And your twin feels the same. Energetically, at least. They might not consciously, be like, oh, I don't know if I really want a twin flame or if it's right for me. I think that they, with the Hanged Man here, they're not particularly concerned. However, strong forces are bringing you together. This is a situation of certain forces bringing you together. This is a shared energy between you two as well, where you're both turned on. It's almost like you're waiting for certain things to unfold, or there's a period of wait before you can come into union with this person. Strength is interesting. It teaches you to be patient. So if you're ever feeling like you are questioning what you desire the most, know that you deserve that and you have the right to have what you want. You know what I'm getting here? Maybe someone or something is also trying to get in between you. It could be temptation, but you overcome with the Hierophant here with tradition. You know, maybe people want to like distract your twin flame from you, or maybe someone's taking their attention. Like how they're kind of in this hangman position of uncertainty and not knowing like exactly what steps to take. But with the Hierophant here on the bottom, I think that group 4, your twin flame is someone who you can get married to and you can overcome obstacles with. And you know, marriage is obviously traditional, but your twin flame is a little bit different. I'm not saying you're going to be in an open relationship or whatever, but like you're a little bit outside of the box of tradition because of your twin flame. They're a little bit different. I don't know how to say it. You could be a Taurus with Empress here. It doesn't have to be, or you could have significant Taurus placements or Venus in Taurus. With the Empress here, it just shows me like how beautiful and grounded you are. And like you're ready, you're ripe for your person to come in. And maybe you question like, okay, is this real? What am I doing? Like, where's my person? Am I going to be alone forever? But with Strength here, it tells you to hang in there, right? It's almost like your twin has something to get in order. And maybe this is what the Wheel of Fortune is about. It's like they're asking themselves, how do I get this in order? How do I get this in order so that I can be in this situation with the tradition here? So yes, it's very interesting in a sense. Like I'm not exactly sure why. Let's see. Can you clarify the Hangman, please? Yeah, I'm really getting a sense of temptation. Aha. 3 of Cups. So maybe your twin is like, I don't know if I want to settle down. I don't know if I'm ready. And then also 8 of Wands. I don't know if I want to settle down. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I want to reach out. That's just a possibility. Maybe it's going too fast. But it seems like this is what they're thinking about. Like, do they want an open relationship? Are they polygamous or something? But you know what? This is tradition underneath this deck. So it tells me that this is very key in your relationship. Monogamy and like, you know, traditional marriage and stuff like that. But you know, when I said like, it feels like they're coloring outside the lines a little bit. Maybe they're just not your typical person like that you thought you wanted. They're different. They push the envelope a little bit. They're edgy in some way. I'm not saying that they're going to be like player or like in a swingers club or something like that. I'm not saying that they're going to be a swinger, but it's like they're not ready to settle down right now, but as the wheel is turning, eventually they get to this point of tradition and you overcome. So for those of you who picked group 4, it is highly likely you are more ready than your twin flame is for union, for settling down. And your task is then to live your life, to be the empress, to embody your divine feminine, to be confident, and to allow experiences to flow to you as they will, without holding on to this idea of coming into union with your twin flame, because it'll happen when it's meant to happen. You know, don't let this situation get you down, because you're here. And I feel like if you start to feel like, oh, I'll never be with my twin flame, maybe I just not good enough or whatever, it'll get you down. It'll kind of knock you off from this into this, and that's not what I want for you. So take a deep breath, ground yourself, keep moving forward, and you know, look at this. Love prevails, love overcomes. And I think that maybe this person just needs time to realize that. And if you haven't met, what is it hurting you? It's not hurting you, right? But they're going through their own thing. So send them a prayer. And send them a prayer of releasing the temptations that are standing in between your union. That's all I'm getting for you, group 4. Thanks for watching.